what you never imagined, though, is that you ended, yes, in Cafe Atlántico mini bar, which I was just bringing things I learned even after I left elBulli of Ferran Adrià. But yes, you ended in elBulli, where Felix, your husband, now, and myself, and others like Ruben and Aitor came from. Another time you're going to a kitchen that, well, it's a kitchen that has great products and great cooks and great culinary techniques, was applying physics and science in ways that no other restaurant in the history. To me, I think almost was destiny that you had this scientific mind turning into cooking. And yes, and then working at minibar, but more important, and working at elBulli like I did many years, over 20 years before you did. How did this knowledge you had in your brain, even if you didn't finish your PhD, help you to fit in one of the most amazing, fascinating, not easy to work at kitchens in the history of mankind, elBulli of Ferran Adrià?
I mean, it was amazing because the elBulli, the kitchen there, I mean, and the front of the house, both sides, they operate with such precision and planning. I mean, particularly in the kitchen, every year you have 50 new cooks who are showing up. So everything, all the recipes are detailed out in a guidebook, like a lab book, you know, just very precise. And they're working with gram scales and measuring minuscule quantities of, you know, different types of ingredients that do different things when you add them, like spherical olives, or working with liquid nitrogen. And when I showed up, it was such a benefit that I had been working with that exact same equipment for years in the laboratory. I was comfortable around liquid nitrogen. I would just throw on some gloves, and I knew the safety around it, but I also knew what, you know, that it would be fine, and like it was safe as long as you handled it safely. And so I had this level of comfortability in that kitchen because of my background in science that a lot of the other chefs who were there, while they had years more official culinary experience than I did, felt uncomfortable because it was their first time in a science meets food kind of space. And something just clicked for me. It was like, wow, this structure, these systems are exactly what I've been doing for years, and it felt comfortable. It just was way more delicious because you're making these incredible, beautiful things, changing someone's life through the food that you're serving and the experience, the guest side of the experience that they're having, and you get to taste these incredible creations, and they're mind-blowing. So it was like science, but that connected to my soul, because I think that food really hits people. Bites of food really connect with our souls. That's why we all love to eat. There's something about that. And so combining those two things, the food and the connection with your soul, like just it, you know, the science and the connection with your soul through food, just was a magical moment for me. And it secured for me that I was doing the right thing. And I saw the same when I went to work at the Bazaar. You know, it was similar in the structure and the systems, and it really, I think, set Felix and I up, and myself, more importantly, learning to be a chef for when we opened our restaurant in Asheville. While we were doing more traditional tapas, I applied the same like structure and organization and recipe development. We used gram scales to measure everything. We took temperatures and times because training, consistency, quality, all of those things are important to a successful restaurant experience.